When you were talking about epistemology, you said...
Good, I'd like you to get to epistemology, because we could kill the whole thing on just politics, but that's the least important branch, actually. It's just a consequence of the more fundamental one. So shoot me something on epistemology.
You said something about reason being the only means of knowledge,
right.
And it made me think of psychics and people who like ESP and things like that, and how one would know that that isn't a means of knowledge. How do you prove it's not a means of knowledge? How do you know that reason is the only means?
How do I know? Well, the question you have to ask me is, you're asking, how do I know that reason is the only means of knowledge? What method are we going to use in evaluating the answers? If I say to you, well, I had a revelation, is that acceptable? I had a revelation that reason is the only means of knowledge. Is that okay? Or I feel it. I have a strong feeling. So what you're telling me and asking the question is you want a reason to believe in reason as the only means of knowledge. So you've already accepted reason as the only judge. You've already, by asking the question, you have committed yourself to reason as the way of proving it. Now, I can take every element of reason, the senses, concepts, logic, and anatomize it for you, break it up, show how it operates, how it's related to reality, etc. But if somebody comes up and says to me, how do you know there isn't something else? Then it's exactly like this. How do you know there isn't a pink elephant right now sitting on this lectern? Well, prove that there isn't. You can't, but the logical principle that covers that is the onus of proof is on him who asserts that something is so. If I say a reason is a means of knowledge, I have to be able to show by defining its elements and so on. But if somebody else comes in and say, I have an intuition that operates in the fourth dimension, prove that I don't, I'll say, you show me that you do. And how is he going to show you? If he points to sensory data, then he's wrecked his super dimension because he's coming back to the senses. So the only thing mystics have ever said in answer to that question is, to those who understand, no explanation is necessary. To those who don't, none is possible. Therefore, in either case, we don't explain. So that's it. Now I believe